Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Good afternoon. It's 5 p.m. It's another phone-in show. Really excited to hear from all of you today. Got some great guests lined up. Some great football to talk about as well. Aguero to Chelsea. Big news about the wage demands from Haaland. Jack Grealish to Man City as well on the agenda. It's been trending across social media today. So we're going to be covering all that a little bit later for you. But we are joined. Gal's with us today. KJ's with us as well. But we're, of course, joined by Monstar as well that I'll bring in a few minutes. Just want to go through a few bits and pieces, get some stuff out of the way in relation to that, and resolve a few, resolve the situation surrounding us both and the terrace and everything moving forward. I'm going to bring him in now to the stream. Afternoon, mate. How are you?
Good, man. Hope you're good as well.
Yes, mate. Lockdown's coming towards the end and the sun's starting to come out, so I can't complain at all. And listen, I think we won't beat about the bush. You know, we've obviously had a long chat privately on Monday about everything that's kind of going on. Went through things that you've been told, things that obviously I've seen out in the ether, and sort of cut through it all and sort of come to I thought, you know, real good chat as a couple of men and sort of understood where both people actually what happened, actually things that were said and sort of the truth behind matters and kind of resolve that issues. And I thought, you know, we both agreed it'd be a good thing to do publicly because we know a lot of my viewers and your viewers actually intertwine with each other. There's a lot of things that have been said. So I kind of hand over to you, mate, to have your say and say what you got to do, bro.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as me and you spoke, there was information. I'm guess like information coming to me, obviously information coming to you. I think obviously the information that got to us was probably not said, not put in the right way. A lot of miscommunication, there were lies as well, lies involved and things like that. And obviously with me, I just heard certain things and blah, blah, probably should have confirmed it with you and seen whether it was true. And I just saw red, I just got angry and said all these things I said in it. I'm gonna admit I was wrong for doing that. I should have probably confirmed with you because obviously me and you have spoke many a times before. You know, when I was on the terrace, I had your number and everything. I should have contacted you and spoke to you about it, and not jumped the gun, and things like that. Do you know what I mean? I was wrong in that, and I do apologize, obviously, to you, Terry. I apologize to the guys as well. You know, I spoke to some of the guys and they let me know that, listen, what you're doing, it's wrong. You could have spoken to me or spoken to you and we could have spoken about it and hashed it out as adults and we're not kids. Do you get what I mean? You didn't have to abuse them and blah, blah, and this and that. So I'm actually here to be a man about it, stand up tall and apologize, man. Do you know what I mean? And apologize.
Yeah, and you know, as I say, I said that it's behind the scenes. Like we don't need to go through on air all the intricate details of what was who told you what and what was said. We know now that the accusations that were made about exploiting people, not playing people, trying to blacklist you, trying to stop people working with you, none of that is true. And we both know. Like, I knew that already. You know, you're now happy that that is the case, and I'm glad that's been resolved because that really isn't how I operate as an individual. And what I do think is really good is that you've had you've been man enough to come onto a stream and say that you know you got something wrong and you shouldn't have done what you did and apologize. So of course 110% I accept your apology, and when I accept someone's apology, that for me it's dead, it's done, it's over. I know you're apologizing to the others that you know, I know there were other people in the terrace that you kind of had cross words with and you went for, and I'm sure there'll be some individual apologies you do behind the scenes around that. I suppose the only one other thing that I do feel needs to be addressed is there was one tweet you put out where you referred to the Football Terrace sort of panelists as being, you know, on plantations and slaves and stuff. And I get a lot of that stem from frustration and anger. And I suppose that's the only other thing that I think needs to be quashed, that, you know, no one on the terrace is here because I'm forcing them to, or I have them kind of bent over a barrel. And I think just getting that cleared up is important as well.
Yeah, listen, I'm a grown-ass man, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? I did say what I said. It was wrong. It was wrong. It was fucked up. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. Normally with me, I can't lie. I'm gonna sit here and be honest with you. I am a petty person. Do you get what I mean? When I'm pissed off at someone or things like that, I might take the hardest way or find the hardest way to get at them and piss them off and things like that. I'm gonna just say it straight up. I was wrong in saying that to the guys. I have spoken to a couple of them
Yep.
privately behind the scenes. So I've spoken to Kendall. Who else did I speak to? Bob's, Igal, spoken to them, apologized, spoken to Jem as well. I'm yet to speak to Indiana and the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? To apologize and listen. I was wrong in saying those things. I was pissed off because I just felt at the time some of them were speaking on something they didn't exactly know about it, and I went into full attack mode. Maybe I should have spoken to them, and we could have, done some confirmation about what's this and what's that. Yeah, and yeah, I am sorry, man. I'm sorry, innit? Do you know what I mean?
And bro, listen, and from my point of view, as I said the other day, it was hurtful for me to hear these accusations that weren't true. But at the same time, there's things for me to learn from this. My approach, maybe what I should have done in reflection is gone to someone like yourself first and said, "Look, I've heard this coming through the ether, so I'm not gonna, people, because what I can't reveal like some of the plans we've got for people because that stuff's kind of private. But there was a case of some of our panelists and stuff. We're not happy for them to have an association with people that are spreading X, Y, and Z about us in that way, and that's my learning curve in this as well. And I appreciate the apology, 110% accepted from my part, and I'm sure everyone on the terrace is going to feel exactly the same because it takes an absolute man and a gentleman to go on and do that. And listen, that's it as far as this stream's concerned in terms of talking about this. We're going to chat football.
Over, man.
We're going to bring the absolutely over, and it's good that that's been done and resolved. 100% accepted in terms of that. I am getting people in the comments say that Fabrizio Romano has confirmed something, so that's why also he's distracting me. But I don't know if that's true. No, he ain't tweeted it. He ain't tweeted anything at all. So I don't know where this is coming from people. They're trolling there. We're going to bring the other boys in. We're going to bring a gal in. We're going to bring man like KJ in as well. Gents, how we doing?
Yeah, it's great to see two of the best YouTubers in the game on the screen again. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Yeah, man. Here to chat about why Chelsea are back. And at least I know Monstar won't be like, "Oh, we're not back. Oh, it's too early." At least he was saying with chest, innit? Like,
yeah. No, it's just, Joe. One of the things that was disappointing about everything that happened is I've always said like Monstar's one of the best YouTubers out there. Like killing the no, it's true. You're killing the Chelsea scene because there's some players in the Chelsea scene with huge followings, and your numbers and sort of the interactions you get are up there. So keep doing your thing. Igal, good travel as well, mate. And listen, instrumental in getting these things resolved, which I appreciate because you sometimes need that, and sometimes it's really good to have a friend. And I do a look at Igal as a friend who can step up and tell people, this is wrong, that's wrong. Come together, sort it out, fix up, man up, move on. And cheers for that, bro. Appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Good. We're going to talk some football, though, because that's why the terrace and our platforms exist. Viewers, make sure you're smashing those like buttons and share buttons as well. Where to start? I've got to start with Haaland here. I've got to start with Haaland, right? There's talk today that's going to cost upwards of £500,000 a week for Chelsea or City to sign him. And it sounds like it's Chelsea that are willing to do that, where Man City may look to pull away. I want to go to Monstar first on this. One, how much do you want Haaland at Chelsea? And secondly, do you think your club would pay anywhere near that for a player of his quality?
If I'm being honest, I don't think the wages will be 600. I think it will be around 300,000 for some reason, or two something. In terms of I think Chelsea will be favourites to get him, and the reason, there's so many factors as to why. When I'm looking at the teams around him that are after him, I'm looking at Real Madrid, Barcelona. They don't have the money. Looking at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich's already confirmed they're only going to go and get one big signing in the summer. That big signing has already been got. His name is Dayot Upamecano. And that just leaves Chelsea and Man City and Man United. Now, with Man City, we've seen this over and over again. History will tell you, Man City do not get in bidding wars for players. Look at the Fred situation. Look at the Jorginho situation. Look at who else is there. There's been Maguire. There's been so many players. Man City, Van Dijk. Man City do not get in bidding wars for players. Also, Raiola does not work with Pep. You even saw the statement from Fabrizio Romano, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that he put out, where he was talking was about Man United and Man City. And it just tells me there and there, Man City will not go out for Haaland. And not only just that, I'm just thinking, he's not even their profile of striker. Why would Man City go for a Haaland rather than they can just go for Lautaro Martinez, who's the perfect Aguero replacement? It makes so much sense. And listening to Liam Toomey as well, he said it straight. He said, nobody in this summer transfer market will outbid Chelsea for Erling Haaland. And I believe that as a fact. I believe that.
I agree with you. We had an agent on here a few weeks ago who spoke about it, and he just sort of said, I spoke to someone at Chelsea and Roman wants him. And it's Roman wants him in the sense of he's got the bit between his teeth. He's not going to be beaten to him. That will, of course, lead to Haaland and his agent doing whatever they can to push that price up. They'll do whatever they can to get the most amount of money possible. But I see Igal's face there because Igal's been pushing this narrative on the terrace for weeks now that City are the front runners, City are the favourites. What you got to say to that, bro?
I got drop kicked today with the reality that City said they're not willing to spend 100 million on Jack Grealish. So that tells me that they're not looking to spend that money on Haaland either. So personally, I just think City might be out of it now. Even though FFP is over, everything over there. If Roman wants him, he can get him. But my whole case was, if City are willing to spend the money, why would he pick Chelsea over City? If it's the same money. But if Chelsea are looking to spend more money, and the whole Roman situation, things have changed dramatically over the past couple of days. And I'm willing to come on here and be like, you know what? If Chelsea get him, they look like the more favorable team to get him now.
But even if it is on a level playing field, there's no guarantee he's going to go to City. Everyone says, oh, well, his dad played for City or blah, blah. That don't mean nothing in football nowadays. What does that mean? Like, there's a lot of Harry Kane was an Arsenal supporter. Don't mean he's going to go play for Arsenal, is it? You know, those sentiments have gone out the window. Football has become a business now, isn't it? That's all it's down to. It's whoever can give you the better package you're going to go to. It's as simple as that. We've heard it many a time.
Monster, you're ignoring the whole fact.
What's the fact?
The fact that as a footballing composition, if you take the player and you're just looking at which situation is better for you, you're going to say to yourself, the City situation is better for you, footballing-wise, trophy-wise, and just positionally even though
Chelsea
you
said, Chelsea win trophy.
That's what I was about to say. It's not like it's not like Chelsea is some Arsenal, bomb team. This ain't no bomb team who can just about scrape top 4. Like, this is Chelsea Football Club, my brother.
Exactly.
Them man are about trophies. Yeah, they've been a few years without one properly. Yeah, cool. But they've gone out and shown that they're willing to spend what it takes to get back to the top, bring in a manager that it takes to get back to the top. If I'm a player now and Chelsea come in for me, I'm not going to sit there and be like, who are they? I'll think about it. Because right now, yes, they may not be winning the quadruple like Man City might do. But they've still got a trajectory which is up. And Haaland could be a part of that.
It's very, very true. I've made Chelsea the front runners for a while. I think the biggest story I read, and this is Lengon Sweet, one of our massive contributors here, says sources close to City said Haaland is the number one target. And I don't disregard it that it's not the number one target. But I think Chelsea want him more. And I think it's important to the player to be absolutely wanted in the way he is. And when you see Mino Raiola's comments in the interview with The Athletic the other day, he's taking shots at United over the Paul Pogba situation, and he took shots at Man City, basically saying, you want to keep your player, treat me with respect. Pep, you want your number one target, get on your knees and beg. And that, for me, on reflection, is what he's saying. And those managers and clubs may not do it. And if they don't do it, you know exactly where Haaland's going to go. And if I said it already, whoever Haaland signs for next season, they win the Premier League. Actually, okay, let me rephrase it. If he signs for Man City, Chelsea, or Liverpool, they win the league. If he signs for Man United, we'll score loads of goals, but we ain't winning the league. It's going to happen in that way. There's no doubt about it. Josh here, one of our members, says, I'm not sure about the 500k wages. Just 300k with incentives will make him the highest earner at Chelsea. At the moment, I don't think anyone makes more than 200k. And you might find this, yeah. Is Kante? How much is Kante on?
I don't know exactly, but it's something like two something. I'm pretty sure
Kante is on like 2 something, and we've got David De Gea on 350. Oh no, it's a joke.
He deserves it though.
It's a joke. It's a joke. He deserves more. He deserves the 350 for your football club. Kante does, and yet we've got our goalkeeper on 350. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's
is it that big of a factor, guys? Realistically, if City want a player, they're still going to get the player.
Not really, because they wanted Koulibaly. Look how that turned out. They ended up
They've wanted a lot of players.
They got a better opposition. 23-year-old with more growth, more room for growth.
Yeah, but yes, they may have got something better after the fact. But you just said Man City, if they want to play, they'll just get them. But there's proof that they don't.
Exactly. No, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's it. They don't go into the bidding war. I mean, there's another article today that we're going to probably touch on a little more tomorrow, but it speaks about the Jack Grealish deal, Aston Villa have told any potential suitors it's £100 million for Jack Grealish. And what the Athletic have reported on, who are renowned for not being clickbait, that City just ruled themselves out, that they're not prepared to spend that much money on a play on any player, not just Jack Grealish, on any player. I think Man United, if they've got the cash, would. I just think they will, man. City, the reason they get players for such good prices, one, they play cash, they never get into these bidding wars. So you can't ever put. What happens when you do that is you have to. I said this in the summer for Man United. Sometimes you've got to lose a proper target or two to gain respect in the negotiating table over a period of time. Man United are never going to do that. We will just bend over and take what's needed. Chelsea do it the other way. They won't bend over and take whatever's needed to get a player unless they absolutely are desperate for him. And I think they are with Haaland. But yeah, it's an interesting way. What are you going to say, KJ, about Jackie Grealish?
Oh, my days. When I heard the news about Man City wanted him, I was like, of course, take him away from everybody, innit? He ain't worth 100 million. But in this day and age, in the state that Man United are in, yo, if we sell PP, well, actually, no, let me rephrase that. When we sell PP, give me Jack. Bring him to the theatre, please. I'm begging.
But you're forgetting remember, last season, I mean, I thought he was going to go to Man United because I thought Aston Villa were going to get relegated. But then they stayed up and then he signed that big-ass contract. And now you've got no choice to spend 80 to 100 mil on Jack Grealish. Yeah, it's true. The only way I feel like is someone. Oh, go on, go.
No, the contract is the reason why he's worth that much. Let's be honest. Yeah, if he plays for another season, you know what? The best case scenario for us as an Arsenal fan could be if he stays for another season, they do bad, they drop off, and we can get him for maybe 60, 50 million again. that would be the best case scenario.
This is what happened in transfer negotiations. So Man United at Jack Grealish, they scoffed at the big price last year, 60, 70 mil. And it's because of his performances this year and the new deal, he's now going to cost more. You look at the other end of the spectrum, you look at the Jadon Sancho situation, because fans didn't return and Dortmund lost even more money. And Sancho's had a good year, but it's not like he's gone to another level. Now it looks like he's going to be available cheaper. So Dortmund end up losing out and will get less than Man United bid. This is just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Liverpool did it in the summer. They didn't spend big. I think their thought process was, with the COVID situation, we'll spend a little less. We're still probably good enough to win the league title, retain it, and then we'll spend big next year when there's more money back in the game. They took that risk. They got some injuries, and it's ever since, pretty much since they beat Chelsea early on in the season, where they all went mental and said, "That's it." Since then, it's just fallen apart. Dixon here says Haaland only wants to move to Real Madrid. Haaland and his representatives understand that he will try anything to get the move there this summer. Does anybody believe that's true?
No. There's no money at number one. Number two, yes, every player wants to go to Real Madrid at some point in their career. But at the end of the day, if you think about, if the way I think of it is, Real Madrid are not going to buy anyone like a massive, like 150, whatever, unless it's Mbappe right now. So I don't see them spending that on Haaland right now. I feel like they will wait, like how they waited for Hazard, and then we'll come in for him later on, innit? Do you know what I mean?
It all depends on what Perez wants. Let's not forget that man. Yes, Zidane's the manager, but that man gets what he don't care if you're the manager or not. If he wants a player, you're getting that player if you like it or not. So if Perez wants Haaland,
couldn't get Hazard for years though.
Yeah, for years, but he didn't let it go though. He did not let it go. The thing is with
done.
It's true. Well, the thing is with Haaland is though, like yes, he may want Real Madrid, but the man's 21. Real Madrid can wait. You know what I mean? If right now Real Madrid haven't got the P's to get him, he can. You know what? Let me take a pit stop at Chelsea, at Man City, do what I need to do, and then Real Madrid will come after me anyway. So he's got options. Trying to limit yourself just to Real Madrid is not great when you're at Dortmund. If he's at Chelsea and there's other clubs wanting him, and he's saying, "Oh, but I'm only waiting for Real Madrid," that's cool because at Chelsea you can still win things. But you don't limit your options while you're at Dortmund. That makes no sense.
I'm more interested to find out who is going to be sold. Because if Real Madrid, obviously, if they sell Odegaard and they sell a bunch of these players that they have to other teams in world football, then they'll have the space to get an Mbappe or a Haaland or any of these players. So we have to see who they sell before we can say anything about Real Madrid.
There's a bunch of players, man. There's
they've
Odegaard, there's Jovic. But if I'm being honest, though, if Zidane ends up leaving, I don't see these guys being sold, because Odegaard was supposed to be the future of Real Madrid. He's supposed to be the future. They bought him at 16 years old. He was supposed to be a future. But the way Zidane's been going since he joined, he hasn't necessarily worked well with a lot of these youth players that they brought in, because they brought in a lot of youth players, innit?
Yeah, Rodrigo.
If he leaves, I can see them holding on to these young players, because it's their next core.
Yeah, they've got Rodrigo, Vinicius, Valverde. They've got Odegaard out. He's going to go out on loan. I'm pretty sure they've got other random Brazilian. They've got Renier at freaking Dortmund. So they've got a whole bunch of young talent that if Zidane was to go, they ain't going nowhere for now.
Yeah, it all depends who they bring in as that replacement manager as well. Maybe the president will look at it and say, okay, if we're going to move you on, let's look at a manager that's renowned for getting the best out. I mean, two of the best managers for getting performances out of youth and young players are now at Chelsea and PSG. So they've missed out on Tuchel and they've missed out on Poch as it stands right now. But maybe it's looking at a coach like that can because even players like Asensio just haven't hit the heights that they're. Because remember, 3 years ago, if you said Rashford's a better performer, going to be a better performer than Asensio in European football, you'd have got laughed at. Now, and you know that he's performing better because you don't hear not one hipster talks about Asensio to their club. He's not. There's no more compilations of welcome to so and so. Like he's just no one speaks about him anymore. So maybe they need that manager there to bring him alive. Josh here says, I think Terry is spot on about Haaland and Mbappe moving to the Prem. If Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain get Salah in the summer, there's room for Mbappe. Maybe Haaland wants to put Man United back on top. Josh, I appreciate the super chat. I pray what you're saying is true. But do you know what? That almost comes with something that's bittersweet there. That would mean Mbappe. Where would Mbappe go in the Premier? If that was to happen, boys, like Monster, where do you think Mbappe could go in the Prem? Who would want him and where would he fit?
It would only be Man United, Man City, and Chelsea. I just don't see anyone else spending that kind of money or paying the wages that he would demand. I can't see any other team barring those three, honestly. No Arsenal, not Liverpool. I mean, who else is there?
Mbappe is not going to the Premier League, guys. Let's be real.
Mbappe I can't see either.
I'm not saying. He's just Terry just asked if he was. It would only be those three, weren't it?
I think if he's going to go anywhere, his next move is to Spain to go to one of definitely not Barcelona, probably just Real Madrid's the only move.
He was supposed to go to Real Madrid before lockdown happened, innit? That was supposed to happen.
I don't know why. It just feels weird thinking about Mbappe in an English Premier League shirt. Like it just doesn't compute in my head. All I can see is Mbappe in that royal white. You know what I'm saying? The Los Blancos, the Real Madrid.
Mbappe feels like, I felt this way about Ronaldinho, Zidane, Messi. I just never ever imagined them being in the Premier League at any point, no matter how many summers we went through. Even when Chelsea got their money and City got their money, they're just not. They could all play in the Prem, but they're just not players that. Neymar's another one. I could never see him here for whatever reason. I just think too cold, too wet. Food ain't good enough. Like that's what's in my head almost. Like those players belong on the continent, if that makes sense. But it's an interesting one there. In other news around Chelsea, Sergio Aguero's name keeps popping up as an alternative if you're not able to land Haaland. What do you think of that, Monstar? Is that a player you wouldn't mind seeing as a stopgap if you couldn't get Haaland, or is he past his best?
He's the thing is with Aguero, I've always seen it as, and I've always spoken. I said Aguero is going to be a replacement for Giroud, if anything. So he's not coming to be even if he comes to Chelsea. I can't see him being a main man. So if we can't get Haaland, I see Chelsea going for Lukaku. And then we can still get Aguero if he takes a wage cut, if we get rid of Giroud and maybe Tammy Abraham as well, if he doesn't sign that contract. So I don't really see Aguero being the main guy at Chelsea. No way. I can't see it. Especially he's always injured as well. So I can't see him being the main man. No. His legs are done.
I hear that. KJ, what do you reckon? I mean, is it just, Barcelona are linked with him, Man United, Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea. According to reports, they're the four. Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal, come on. You don't need another over-the-hill striker or 300 grand a week.
No, we are linked to him, though. We are linked to him. I'm not saying I would be happy about it. It's just...
I love how he can. Every big transfer, he has to try and link. There has to be a link to Arsenal. So
no,
and Arsenal too.
Okay, whatever. I'm just
what I take Aguero. I just let him go out of England. Let his legacy be cemented and let him leave. I feel like Spain is probably the best place for him. Barcelona right now in their rebuild could do with someone like Aguero, whose experience is a winner in there, and help reshape the club again for a couple of years, and then maybe go back to Argentina. But I don't see him moving to another Premier League team. I think him as a player, I don't think he would do that to Man City either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all
I
just.
Need to jump on this. I need to jump on this too.
Hang on one second. Got a super chat here from the Queen of the Terrace. Says, "Bill up Monster for real." Absolutely. Like we said earlier, it takes genuinely takes a man to do what you did, and I got a lot of respect for that, bro. 100%. Go on, Gal. Tell us why Arsenal could get Sergio Aguero.
No, it's not why Arsenal could get Sergio Aguero. Let's be real. Manchester United is linked to every single player. Chelsea's linked to every single player. Man City legend, supposedly leaving Man City to go to another Premier League team. It screams like a bunch of media, dare I say it, just BS. You know what I mean, guys? Let's be real here. It's not going to happen. If he actually is the Man City legend that he says he is, he's not going to go to another team. He's going to do what David Silva did and leave the Prem altogether.
Well, we've seen Frank Lampard play for Man City, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen
Michael Owen came to Man United.
Yeah, Michael Owen.
I think it all depends on how Aguero legitimately feels about how he's been treated. Now, I know they're giving him a statue and everything, so maybe that's going to be enough for him. But if he sort of feels, I've always felt there's been a little bit of something since Pep's been there, like a little niggle. Do you get what I mean? I don't know, but it all depends. Listen, Dennis Law, United royalty, scored a goal that relegated us. Or Man City. So these things have happened forever in football, and I wouldn't be too surprised. But I agree with Monster. I think it'd be a bad move for Chelsea and Man United. It'd be big money with not a lot of football. What's happened to Haaland's 60 million buyout clause, since that was the reason Man United didn't buy him in the first place? So that doesn't come into action until the summer of 2022. But you can see why at the time I would love to chat to the Guna Talk, Tom from Guna Talk, because me and him had a big spat about this well over a year ago now on like a friendly spat about this, where I said the deal was bad because over the next 18 months, Haaland and the agent will try and either get a huge bumper pay rise at a big club, or they would try and force a move away. And look what's happening. So Dortmund, though, because they're not a club that buys, they try and win the Bundesliga. They try and do well in the Champions League, but they bring players like Haaland in to make a profit on them. If they get the asking price this summer, their £20 million signing, they'll sell for over 100 million. They're going to make about £100 million profit after you factor what they've paid in wages. If they don't, and they want it to happen this year, Dortmund, because next summer it does drop down to 60, 70 million and it's cut price. And that's where I think Chelsea will come top again. I just think they're not going to take the risk of losing out next year when everybody can afford him. And they'll just say, nah, let's just blow everybody out the water and move forward.
One second, Terry. Basically, are you saying if you had Haaland, would you be in the same situation?
Yes, but not in terms of him wanting to leave straight away, but in terms of he'll be now demanding 400k a week. You know what I'm saying? He would demanding that, or he'd be like, right, if you don't give me a new contract, the summer the activation of my release clause goes in, I will use that as an advantage to get what I want.
What that does at any club, it could, and this is something that it could do for Chelsea, but Chelsea can afford it. City can afford it. He turns around and says, right, I've been here 18 months, scored all these goals. Everybody wants me. I want a pay rise. Then you get Pogba, Rashford, Bruno. They all want pay rises. They want 100k extra a week because they feel they're integral to the team. And suddenly your wage bill goes up by, £1 million, £2 million a week over the course of the year. That's like £100 million more you've spent out your kitty. So clubs like Man United and Chelsea and City should never sign a player like Haaland with his potential with a very small buyout clause. It's just bad business for big clubs. When you're a Dortmund and it's about selling for profit, because Dortmund are never going to offer him a new deal now that removes that clause and pays him 300, 400 grand a week. They can't afford to do it. So you just can't act that way. You really can't. Aguero could end up at Juventus or Inter. That seems more likely to me, to be fair. Viewers, we're going to open up the line for you to come on, have your say, call into the show in a few moments' time as well. Next week, though, we've obviously got the Prem kicks off this week. Big preview tomorrow night, by the way, at 6 p.m. Igal and Man Like Harry versus Callum and LFC Sunny. Big Arsenal-Liverpool preview, 6 o'clock tomorrow. Going to be absolutely lit, that one. I can't wait because Arsenal fans seem really confident ahead of this game. We're going to be doing that tomorrow night, so make sure you're tuning in. But next week, Champions League football is back. And I'm disappointed my team's not in it, but I can watch it without any kind of pressure. How are you feeling ahead of Chelsea's game and your side of the draw, Monster?
Obviously, I've gone back and watched Porto and Juve, seen how they play, see how Porto won. And when you look at the way Porto won, it was just horrible, terrible mistakes from Juve, innit? It's on paper, it's supposed to be Chelsea should win this, innit? But all Chelsea needs to do is Chelsea need to just play their game, just do what they've been doing. And if they do what they do, then they should win this tie. But, no tie is easy, innit? But I don't know. I feel like with the way we're playing right now, our form, we just beat the best defensive side in the whole of Europe. Do you know what I mean? And we beat them with ease, innit? So hopefully if we continue to do what we're doing, hopefully we can get through this tie. But I'm not going to jump the gun and just say, oh, yeah, we're going to smack them or blah, blah. But we should be winning this tie. I'm not.
You're not
goading me into this one.
A lot of people, once the draw came out, are putting Chelsea as favorites to get to a final. Are you putting that on Chelsea?
From our side of the draw, Chelsea are if you look at it, you look at Real Madrid, how they're performing, they've not been performing well all season. You look at Liverpool, we know what's going on with Liverpool. We look at Porto, every other team in the draw wanted Porto, innit? If you're just going based on paper with the way the season's gone so far, Chelsea are the favourites. They should be the favourites to get to the final, innit? But it's Champions League football, so we don't know, innit? You could be the favourites. We saw in 2012, Barcelona piped. What did they pipe Arsenal? Messi scored was it 4 or 5 goals? They destroyed you lot. Then they beat Bayer Leverkusen. They came against us, and we beat them, and they were favourites to win it. So you never know. You never know, man. You get what I mean? You never know.
Yeah, I think the way Chelsea are playing, that they've put themselves into that position to feel really confident moving forward. And of course, it's knockout football, so anything can happen. But it's such a good opportunity, such a great side of the draw that could really push you forward. There's no doubt about it. And it's just the goals. If you just increase the goals a little bit, just an extra 5% conversion rate, 10% conversion rate, you could do it. It's just no one's breaking you down. And when you don't concede goals, you've got a chance. And everybody else on your side of the draw, for me, is a bit wishy-washy. In Porto, I think they've had their final. I think they've had their moment by knocking out Juve the way they did. But if they played that game again, Juve would have beaten. I still watched it back. I watched the extended highlights on BT Sports, 20 minutes of it. They still shouldn't have won that game, in my view, in a cold light of day. So I don't see it happening again. What's that, KJ? Go on, bro.
Terry. No, it was me. Terry, there was this interesting thing about fans and how they were polled. All of different fan bases were polled by The Athletic for several different things. One of them was how they believe their club is run, how happy they are with their manager, how entertaining their football is, and how they feel like their season is going. And surprisingly, I know you've seen it. Newcastle are at the bottom for everything, right? Man City and everything else are at the top for everything. And it was very interesting results. Do you have that, perhaps? I would love to hear your take on that.
So I haven't got it in front of me, but I saw that Arsenal fans were happier with things than Man United fans are. And you celebrated that. My view was that means you've got much lower expectations than us. Because imagine being an Arsenal fan and being happier with your season than Man United.
No. The reason why I took that as a W for myself was because of the conversation we had on air. We had a conversation on air where you said, "Oh, what the hell is that background noise?" Okay, you heard the conversation. You heard the conversation that we had with Helena, where she's like, "How do you know what your fans, majority of your fans think?" From the fans that were polled, a random set of fans. It just goes to show you more of them believe and back what.
Yeah, but Igal, you got to remember with polls, you can never truly trust them unless they're nationally done, because it's just a small pool. It's a small pool of your fan base that did that poll. Bro.
Yeah,
so, I love you though. I love you, fam.
Honestly, Bob, you're enthusiasm for things is amazing. I did have a comment. I've got a super chat I'm going to go to. There was a comment that came through from Harrison Lang, and I'm not laughing at you here, Harrison. It's if Fabrizio Romano has said this, it's like I heard something. I was watching a TV show today, and this guy said something that made me laugh. He said, statistically speaking, having your birthday is good for you. He said basically the more you have, the longer you live. And I thought about it and then laughed. I thought it was quite funny, right? And this is what Fabrizio Romano has said. Because Fabrizio Romano basically confirmed that United will sign either Botman, Torres, Koundé, or Varane. So basically, what he's saying is you will land one of our targets. I mean, it's okay. Thank you, bro. That's pretty obvious.
It sounds like a thing Prime would do. But like, oh, this could happen, and that could happen, and that could happen, and that could happen. And then when one of them happens, it's like I expected that. It's just like, well, you gave us a whole freaking list.
I guarantee you all, Man United will sell or buy a player this summer. That's as exclusive here on the Football Terrace today. S here says, I think Arsenal should do a minute silent before the kickoff versus Liverpool. For Claude, maybe someone at AFTV could try to get that done. What do you think, Terry? It's time to go. RIP Claude. Yeah, I think a minute silence is good. I actually think they should just play before the game. I know they wouldn't, but they should play before the game, like a compilation of his best bits. Like they should just do it for a man like Claude. I've actually been watching a lot of his stuff the last few days. Like it just made me laugh. Like I watched the first video I ever saw him do, and the geezer was just gold. Absolute YouTube royalty. We're going to start going to some calls now. Get people on, have their say. Make sure 1,300 people watching. Smash the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the Terrace. Monstar's channel is also linked in the title as well, so go and give that a subscribe as well. First caller of the day, we're going to get Alex on the show. Alex is, of course, a Chelsea fan. What are you saying, bro?
You all right, guys? All good?
Yeah. What are you saying?
Yeah, no, I've just been listening in and to what you guys have been saying with Haaland and the whole kind of situation. And look, man, to be honest, if we can get Haaland, it would be amazing. But the only thing I do not want to see is Haaland going to Man City. If Haaland goes to Real Madrid, fine. You know what I mean? He's a great player. If he wants to go to Real Madrid, go Real Madrid. But if Man City are going in for him, Chelsea need to go in for him. Chelsea need to go, because I do not want to see Haaland Man City. I don't mind any other team, besides in the Prem. I do not want to see Haaland go to Man City. And if Man City are really trying to get Haaland, then Chelsea have to do whatever they can to get Haaland. And the thing is, as Chelsea Football Club and as fans, we all know Abramovich, when he wants some, he always does get some. He does always get his. He always gets his players, and I think Abramovich in the last week, even with Havertz, I think even Havertz was a player that Abramovich did want, and he did end up getting him. But look, even
Alex, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
if Haaland wasn't to come and say he just goes to Man City and your nightmare comes to life, who would you then want to get to try and compete with that signing as a striker?
Well, I'm not a big. I think the only other option would be Lukaku. It's not like I would be too happy to have Lukaku, but I can see. But he is a goal scorer, and we are. We do need goals in our squad, but at the same time, to be honest, even if he does come to Chelsea, we will have no chance of winning a title again. Like we
Can I just say, I feel like Lukaku is so disrespected around, especially in England. Like when I was looking at his goal scoring numbers, he had one bad season for Man United, but people seem to discount the amazing season he had at West Brom, the multiple amazing seasons he had at Everton, the first amazing season he had at Man United.
That's true. That is true.
And the amazing seasons that he's having at Inter Milan, like the man is a goal scorer. Like I hear Chelsea fans saying, he has to score 30 plus goals. Bro, Drogba didn't score that. Neither did Diego Costa. In fact, Lukaku outscored Costa at Chelsea. Like people need to relax. Lukaku is an adequate enough alternative if we can't get Erling Haaland. Like I just feel like he's so disrespected, man.
But Monster, wouldn't there be a thing with Chelsea fans? Say if you bought in Lukaku and it didn't work. Wouldn't there be the whole, why did you guys go for him when there's clearly been issues with him in the Premier League, and also we must have sold him for a reason and we haven't signed him back for a reason? Well,
that's not the case. That's not necessarily the case though, because we did want to sign him back in, what year was it, where we got Morata instead. The only reason why we didn't sign him was because of obviously Mino Raiola and his ridiculous agent fee demands, innit? But apart from that, he would have been a Chelsea player. So we did try to sign him. It just didn't work out.
Yeah,
fair enough.
he suits the Prem so much, you know. I think thing is Lukaku is a Chelsea fan. You know, he is a Chelsea fan, and if he had a
Anywhere
chance
he
to
goes,
Chelsea,
he scores goals. Anywhere he goes,
it's about
everywhere.
the right. It's all with Lukaku, Alex. Great call, by the way. It's about the system. If you want him to be the person, like Man United were trying to play the ball through him, I don't think it works. Jose, by the way, didn't want to do that. He wanted players in the squad that were going to put the balls across that 6-yard box or through balls so he could play on the shoulder. Man United fans cried about it, and then it all fell apart. Horses for courses needed there. Alex, great call, mate. Thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it. Next up, man like Ram is with us. Ram, what you saying, bro?
Yeah. What's good, everybody? Everyone's all right. Monster, it's nice to see you. What happened in the past days and the past week now, we can move forward and make some content together, which would be great. But if Erling Haaland does replace Sergio Aguero at Man City, we said it before on the terrace, it's game over. It's game over. No one's beating Man City. No one. They've got a solid defense. They've got an amazing midfield. And if they get Haaland, I'm sorry, no one's catching up with them. We need a miracle.
Is he their profile though? Is he their profile of striker? I just don't see him being their profile of striker. Like, I know he's a goal scorer, he's a poacher, he's whatever, but I feel like he doesn't suit their game. It might not work out as we all think it might work out. Like, there's players out there that might suit them even better. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. But like on how hot what Pep wants in his strikers, he can do that. Like, he's shown glimpses of it at Dortmund. Now, he's not a specialist in it, but he's shown that he's capable of doing the stuff. He can press. He's very good on the ball. Like, not amazing, but his link-up play with the likes of Royce and Giovanni Reina and even Sancho is very good. Like, he's not at that. He's not a specialist at what Pep wants in a striker, but he's definitely adequate enough to
if
fill that role.
as long as you've got a man that can finish, bruv, whack me at Man City, fam. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't really matter. That man makes so many chances. It's just one of those ones. It's like, you just need someone to put it back in the net. The issue with someone like Jesus this season is that he's been getting the high tier chances and missing them.
You say that, but remember when Pep obviously was at Barcelona and they were playing the best football we've ever seen.
False nine Messi.
Yeah, remember who they brought in? They brought in Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and it didn't work out. Do you remember that? So that's what I'm saying, and we all knew how prolific a young Ibrahimovic was. It just didn't work out. So that's what I'm just going on a realm of that.
I think that is a definite fair point. Igal, we've got a question here from you from Monster, one of our members. He says, does Igal still think Haaland is overrated?
Nah, Igal.
Listen, I did say kinda. So if you guys replay the video,
the cop out.
Can you recant that, please? Can you please recant?
No. Listen, we're gonna keep it moving from that, and let's jump on to Harry Kane point. Everyone keeps ignoring the fact that if Harry Kane puts in a transfer request, where would he end up? He's going to probably stay in the Premier League and go to either Chelsea or City. Wouldn't that be a better replacement for Haaland for them?
It won't be Chelsea. Chelsea and Tottenham don't do business, bro. We don't do business.
It will be United.
I think it
would be United. I can see it. Not because I necessarily think he'll be the best fit. It's just because Harry Kane has been someone Man United has been wanting for a while. Woodward freaking loves him. And if you get that transfer request in and Levy has to put the price down, Man United are definitely doing it.
Yeah, you know what I said earlier? Like, I look at Mbappe and I can't imagine him in a Premier League kit. When I look at Harry Kane, I always see it. It's just something about him. He looks like a Man United signing. If this was Fergie's era, Kane would have been at Man United 4 or 5. Fergie would have got it done. He would have done listen, I know Chelsea got done for it before, but Fergie definitely tapped people up as well. There's no doubt about it. And he would have been tapping that boy's family up, offering them jobs, sorting out everything he could, offering them racehorses, whatever he needed to do to get that deal done. Dave is with us. What you saying, bro?
I'm good. Yeah, chilling.
Yeah, you just woke up, innit, bro? You just woke up.
No, I've not. I've been working, and I thought I'd give myself a break. So I thought, why not come on this?
Yeah, your work makes you strain out that much where you just look like absolutely shattered, bro.
I'm stressed. Long.
Yo, fam, you do art at uni, bro. What is there to be stressed about?
Art, engineering, art. I take a break.
I'm about to say,
You know how you lot keep saying, yeah?
Are you at college? Are you at uni making collages and doing tie-dye?
No, Terry, I'm not doing art. I'm doing engineering.
Ah,
he's taking the piss. He's taking the piss.
You know how you lot are saying that Haaland would be the perfect if he goes to City, we're done and everything. What about if Harry Kane goes City? What happens then?
It's still game over.
Listen, no, Monster, you didn't get twisted. It's done anyway. It's I've said this before. It's finished anyway. Haaland, no Haaland. Kane, no Kane.
I disagree. I'm going to say this now because it feels like the most opportune moment to say it. Right? If Chelsea do get a prolific striker, trust me, pray for their rivals. Like 110, it's got to be done because they can compete. Yeah, go on, bro.
Teams go through cycles. This City cycle is going to run out soon. We're going to see a lot of the players. They're going to have to refurbish their whole squad. If they started with the Haaland, who's to say in a couple years' time Haaland doesn't have the service behind him? If they don't go,
there's one flaw to that statement. There's one flaw to that statement. I wouldn't say Joao Cancelo's been there for very long. I wouldn't say Ruben Diaz has been there for very long. Like, there's still players in that team that can still last for another 4 or 5 seasons, and they have the quality to last for another 4 or 5 seasons. So
Phil Foden exists.
And Phil Foden exists. Foden exists.
You know what I'm saying? Phil Foden's there. You've Torres. Got Mahrez. Yeah, Mahrez is a little bit on, but he's still got a few years left in him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sterling is not that old, people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Don't forget Bernardo Silva as well.
It's true. Mohamed here was dead. I think City will go for Haaland. People are forgetting Pep's only there for 2 more years. City will need a longer term striker that can be used long term. Listen, City can, but as we said at the top of this stream, it means that Pep's got to get down and bow down to Mino Raiola. And Raiola's thrown down the gauntlet by chatting smack about him in the press. So it can happen, but a lot of things put into place. Yeah, go on, bro.
Do you think now that Man City's got they've got the manager, do you think now they're starting to go with that Bayern Munich sort of mold where they're just building teams? The club is building a team. They're just going to bring managers in after.
They've done that the whole time, and if they would have brought Pep in 2012, 11, whatever, they wouldn't. I don't think they'd have been as successful as they are now. Pep came in when they reached the pinnacle in terms of the way the operation was running at Man City. Of course, they've now got the best manager currently in the world, so there is a likelihood there's going to be a little bit of a dip. But it isn't going to be a kind of Arsenal, Man United level dip where they fall away for a decade or 2 with Arsenal. It will be, okay, they might take a season or 2 to adjust to a new manager or whatnot, but they're always going to be there or thereabouts with their money and everything else. Monster here says, guys, don't forget financial fair play has been scrapped. So if people leave, they can spend crazy. Man City can spend crazy. And so can Chelsea.
They can. It's more about the will, though. United, with FFP could spend crazy, but we choose not to. You know what I'm saying? Because of the pagans and the wallets. But yes, they can. Yes, they can do these things. It's just about will. Man City have a way of operating which hasn't failed them. I don't see them changing that just because FFP is gone.
They don't get into bidding wars, bro. As simple as that. No. Like, every player where they've gone in with a Chelsea or a Man United, they've lost. Like, remember, I'd even bring up Alexis Sanchez as well. There's been so many players.
There's been Jorginho as well.
Jorginho, Fred. There's just so many of them. Man City, it's like they don't like the hassle of going back and forth and bidding for players. They just don't do that, man. They just don't do it.
Yeah, they don't. João Felix to Man City.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's wasted. I've got respect for Diego Simeone, but when I watched him against Chelsea, I just thought, you could see he wanted to express himself more, and the system just wasn't there for him. I felt bad. We're going to throw some more callers on now. We've got man like Winter Surfer in the house. What you saying, bro?
Right, guys. All right. Yeah, my issue is how long Chelsea spend on trying to get Haaland, because I don't want it like 2017 when we're all in for Lukaku. We end up getting that donkey Morata instead. So how long do we spend on it? And also, does actually Tuchel, what players does Tuchel actually want? Do you know what I mean? And Chelsea fans, like I said previously, don't get up in arms if Tuchel wants a player you don't fancy, because it's our manager and that's what he wants. So you've got to back him. So I don't want to spend the entire summer and then having to do like a Tottenham dash at the end of the window to buy some BTEC players. Do you know what I mean? I want to get it done as quickly as possible, or find out the answer and then move on if we don't get it.
I don't think you will. I think it will be done as clinically and as methodically, but quickly as well. Like the research will be done. I think one of the players on the chopping board could be Christian Pulisic. Personally, I think Pulisic could be an individual that they look to replace. I think Ben Chilwell might go. Just something about it. It all depends on what he does, whether he goes back to a flat back four. But Chelsea, that's one great thing for Chelsea. They can spend big, but they also have a number of assets. We spoke about Real Madrid could sell loads of players and raise money. So can Chelsea. Chelsea have got an abundance of youngsters that haven't even played for the club or barely played for the club out on loan that they could probably raise 80, 90 million for selling. I think he'll do a good job like he did this summer. Like the summer just gone was fantastic for Chelsea. I don't think you'll sign as many this year, but the work you do, I think, will be potent.
Yeah. It's just I want to see Tuchel get these players early, get them into his system early, whatever system he wants to do, and then hit the ground running from the very first game. I want to lead this league next season from the very first game. That's what I want. That's what we've done in the past.
That's going to be hard, though. When you think about everything that's going on, the FFP gone and everything, you're gonna have battles for players no matter what, and it's gonna be dragged out. And the longer it gets dragged out, it actually might help the club get a better deal. So even if it costs you that much longer to get the deal, sometimes it's beneficial in the long run.
Yeah.
No, listen, absolutely. Winter Surfer, great call, mate. Great points being made, bro. Look after you. So, as your secret shirt.
It's good. It's good. It's a Target shirt. I'm going to lose a bit more weight and then get into it.
I did.
No. That's
you didn't say that. What you said. Appreciate that. Listen, take care, bro. All the best. On shirts, Anita, thank you, mate. Anita won the debate the other day. She won the vote. Shows how much the football terrorist community. In fact, she won with 42%. Harry came third on 37%. So she did pick. I was so proud of the shirt that Anita picked as well. So, what shirt do you want? She picked it. Made me a very proud Englishman when she picked the shirt. She did. So
she asked you to get the England shirt,
sir.
That is dead. That is so.
I thought it would be like the Nigeria shirts. The Nigeria shirts this season are wavy, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. They are.
Look at that. There we go. Next caller we're gonna get on is man like Abs. What you saying, bro?
I'm good, fellas. How's everyone?
Yes, Abs. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's weird because I was speaking to one of my mates who lives in Spain, and he said something to me that made me go, "Why are we not talking about Real Madrid in this conversation for Haaland?" Because the money that Viola's going to want to get Haaland, which is is 500k plus. The only two clubs in world football that will pay that is Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think KJ, you said something yesterday. I actually think Lautaro Martinez is going to end up at Man City. I just feel like Haaland is a smokescreen, the same way the Koulibaly was a smokescreen. I feel like just using it. Yeah, we're linked to him. No, we're not. We're going to get Lautaro Martinez for cheaper, and he suits what we're looking for.
Yeah, but that could be the case because in terms of what Monster was saying, in terms of Man City don't like bidding wars, no one's really. Barcelona were the only team linked to Lautaro Martinez, but it seems like they probably won't go for him because
City
of
were linked as well.
The situation. So that means City would have a clear run. So if they don't want to get into bidding war for a player, you don't go for Haaland, you go for Martinez. And I'm telling you now, Martinez, like yes, he's not Haaland, but he could definitely grow in that Man City team and do a madness. Like I don't see why people don't think he's that good. Like,
but as for Real Madrid, Real Madrid don't have the money right now. They just don't.
Monster, we think they don't have the money. That's the thing my mate made me realize. He's like, there's no FFP. Let's not be shocked if all we see is Haaland ends up at Real Madrid, which made me go, that's a possibility. You know, it's not. I feel like everyone's just seeing them as the dark horses, but they could be the ones that actually lead in the race. So that's the weirdest thing.
I swear
Real Madrid like they have loads of debt, and the only way they normally get it paid off is through the government. Right now, obviously, the government can't be paying off 550 odd mil worth of debt.
That's something I don't understand. I would never pretend to try and understand how it works. But I almost felt that's what they're waiting for, like the world to go back to normal. They're almost like they need almost like another big scandal to happen in Spain, so they could just they can slip in the back door and be like, "Oh, can you pay some of this debt off for us?" It'll be interesting. The super chat here says, "Let's be frank. If City goes full throttle, the rest of the big six needs to pray for a league title for the next 5 to 10 years. All more incentive to get dead owners out like the Glazers and KSE."
Yes.
You know, in Arsenal, I hear that. Lengon Sweet here says Martinez cost more. He signed the new deal.
Not necessarily. You forget that Inter Milan. You forget that Inter Milan. They're in financial trouble. Them man owe us 40 M's, bro. You know what I'm saying? Them man owe us money.
Well, when I saw the rumor that Chelsea might buy Lukaku, one of my first thoughts were that's good for us because that's £48 million in the back pocket. And then I just thought, yeah, but like 30 mil, that's going to the Glazers, isn't it? So I'm like, it's bittersweet. Like, I wish it'd be great we get some money coming in, but we know it ain't going to be spent on us. Abs, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on, having you say. Really appreciate it, bro. Top man. Next up, I love this guy. Real Chris is with us. Real Chris, welcome back to the Terrace, mate. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hopefully you guys are doing good as well. Hey, what I'm going to say is Haaland is joining the Champions League winners, like Eden Hazard joined Chelsea in 2012.
Oh my God.
It's happening. Like, if we win the Champions League, Haaland is going to want to join Chelsea, and we have the money, what Roman has, to give it to him. So, yeah, I believe Haaland is definitely going to Chelsea this season. Well, next season.
Let's get to the final.
And you are confident. You're that confident you're winning the Champions League.
The only if we get to the final, I believe we are winning it. But if we get to the final, the inexperience of the younger players might struggle, I would say, in the final.
I love Chelsea fans right now. I love Chelsea fans. They say something mad like, "Yeah, the Champions League is ours," and then you ask them, "Do you really think you're going to win the Champions League?" And it's just like, actually, let me step back a few moments.
No, there's only one thing back in my head, saying like we might not win it, but I believe there's a very good chance we are winning it.
Well, fam, you know why? You know what that is? It's because you're back. That's why, because Chelsea are back.
Well, we have got a top manager.
You're the second favourites, in my opinion. You're the most informed team on your side of the draw, and the other three favourites in front of you are all on the other side. So you're the second favourites by my proxy, and I think you could. I actually think you can do it, though. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's ass. I really think Chelsea can win it because the other teams are just not quite clicking. It's two legs. You're not conceding goals. What you just did to Atletico Madrid, they were like a lot of people's dark horses to go on and do bits this year. You could do it. Listen,
I actually want Real Madrid.
Man,
I want Real Madrid in that semi-final.
Really?
Again, we can beat Liverpool. We can beat Liverpool. That's not the thing is I want Real Madrid because I know we can comfortably beat them. Like because when they play Atletico, it's normally quite a close game. And look what we did to Atletico. I'm looking at it thinking the way Real Madrid are right now, because they're Real Madrid by name but not by nature. I think we could beat them and like convincingly as well.
You guys need to
just worried about those Anfield nights, David, aren't you?
We had in the Champions League, Chelsea and Man Liverpool had classics for about 5 years running, where they kept running into each other in the Champions League. 2004-5, it was a semi-final. 5-6, I think it was the group stage. 6-7 semi-final again. 7-8 semi-final. 8-9 quarter-final. I need another one of those classics, man. Honestly, I need another one. Real Madrid just won't bring it like Liverpool would.
And fans will be back, though. Fans will be back as well. So that'll be even better.
Wait, fam. You're rubbing your hands just for you guys to lose. Oh, that's peak, you know.
Don't doubt our Anfield nights, yeah.
Anfield nights.
Anfield this season. Have you seen Anfield this season, bruv? Burnley. Who else beat you there?
Brighton
without fans.
Bruv, you got
listen.
Anfield nights can't happen anyway because he does it because Anfield's the first leg, so they can't have an Anfield night.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Real Madrid and Liverpool have been there, done it recently. Chelsea, I don't think any of your players, barring Aspilicueta, was probably on that title-winning team.
Kovacic won the Champions League with Real Madrid.
Okay, so you got one player
from the bench,
they
but he
have
was
a whole
there.
player full of experience. But my whole point is, these guys been there, done that. Chelsea's not been there; they haven't done that. Yes, you might make them the favorites based on form, but form is temporary. Class is permanent, and these guys have it.
Wait. If class is permanent, then Chelsea up there too. Then.
No, man. Chelsea have a whole new restructured team. Everything's changing from the team that won the title. Not a lot of these players have actually won anything with Chelsea.
There's some Premier League winners in there. There's some Premier League winners. We got Alonso. We got Aspi. Who else we got?
Zuma's been there.
Are you forgetting? Sorry, are you forgetting that Liverpool have got Nate and Kabak as their centre backs, bro? Like,
listen,
I'm forgetting that.
I'm not saying Liverpool are gonna clear cut win the Champions League, but you guys just saying Chelsea's gonna clear cut win the Champions League, or like
no one said that. No one said that.
It's too much talk.
No one said that.
One of the guys, the guy literally came on and said you're gonna win the Champions League.
Yeah, and then KJ said, "Are you going to?" And he went, "Well, actually,
It's too much gas.
Hear you on that. Next on the show, we're gonna get Itest actual son on to have you say what you saying, Itest son.
How's everyone?
Good, bro. Good.
Two things, yeah. I heard Miguel early in the show, say this season's a W. So explain that, please.
No, I never said this season's a W, bro. No. I never said this season's a W. I said I'm taking a personal W.
No. I'm not allowing it, bro. I'm not allowing it. Yeah, two. Arsenal fans have no right to bash Chelsea fans, but the crack that you guys are on right now, best know I'm tagging every single Chelsea man in that Discord. Just know, So back to your gal, Answer your point,
bro. I don't think you're listening to what I said. What I said was, based on the conversation we had a couple streams before, I was referring to the fact that a lot more fans from that survey were saying things are not as bad as other clubs. They're making it seem like we're the worst run club in the world, like we're worse than Newcastle. That's not the W.
We're not as bad as
Hey, someone help us, man.
No. Listen, the W is that more fans actually genuinely believe that things are going to get better.
I'm not lying.
General understanding of how bad things are, and it is something that you need to grow upon and fix up, and we haven't fixed up. What are you going to do?
You said that's a W.
I'm not.
Allow it. KJ, they're better than West Ham. Remember, they're better than West Ham. Allow them.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Arsenal is shocking, bro. I can't even.
Exactly, bro. That's my point.
As much as you lot can say Arteta this, Arteta that, bro. Like, I remember DT used to say, Lampard took Chelsea from 3rd to 4th. Arteta took Arsenal from 5th to 8th. So where are they now? 9th, 10th. Like, come on, man. Like, it's bad. Like, there's no way of sugarcoating it or putting it. Arsenal right now are terrible, man. Like, we're being real. Like, you're not the 9th worst team when you're looking at your squad.
Okay.
You're not the 9th worst team. But you're 9th.
Okay.
There's no way of putting that, bro.
Okay, I hear that. But with the situation we have right now, I just feel like the team is on the cusp of getting better and getting into a better situation in a longer term. Instead of just going for short-term fixes, we have to, in order to fix the situation we're in, we need to look for a long-term solution. And I feel like that's what we're doing. And understanding that sometimes it takes a little bit longer for things to click into gear and pop. And I think we're just there, but we haven't seen the fruits of our labors this season. I feel like maybe next season we're going to see that, but right now, no. Let me finish. Right now, this season has been terrible. We can do better than what we currently are in this situation, but of course, we should not be where we are. It's unacceptable. I'm not accepting that. But what I'm saying is, it could be the long-term solution right now to be bad and just to fix it for the longer term.
Itest son. You're an Arsenal fan. Have your say.
Yeah, listen, you see what you just said now, about we're getting better. I've heard that for the last 15 years. Yeah. I'm lying. I've heard that for the last 15 years.
Yeah, you have a point.
Yeah, you have a point. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. Furthermore, when you say we're getting players and we need to get longer term players, we have Xhaka in our midfield still to this day. Yeah. How is that possible? We have a Real Madrid reject in our side, for no reason, This club's going down.
He's not.
I don't see it staying up.
I think that's harsh to call Odegaard a Real Madrid reject.
No,
He's
no,
still
I'm
a
from
young
Ceballos.
player.
Ceballos.
Oh,
Ceballos, yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, my man's a blade fam, a glorified blade. That's what he is.
Listen, ITS Son, thank you very much for coming on, bro, and having your say. Another Abs. You know how many Abs call this show, bro? So many at the moment.
Wait, Terry. Can I ask a guy a question?
That's what it is.
No, it's all different types of Abs. I see their full names. It's different types, but yeah, the bare Abs, you know, bro. Go on, bro. Go on.
Gal, did you say that you'd rather have Manchester City win the Champions League?
No, I said I feel like Manchester City and Bayern Munich, that side of the table, is more likely to win than this side of the table with Liverpool, Real Madrid, and Chelsea.
All right. Because someone in the comments said that you said that. I was like, that's mad.
No. I don't know if I think those are two separate comments, Ram. I think you might have read that wrong. I think he was saying I don't want Man City to win the league, and then
all right. I hear that. Okay. Listen, great stream, everybody. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in. I've got to go and do the Easter food shopping now. Family duties beckon and call, so I've got to go get that done. But thanks to everyone for coming on. Monstar, great to have you back. Back with everyone today. As we said, make sure like buttons are hit, subscribe buttons are hit, bell notifications, sign up to the Discord server. You can still get 20% off of all your Manscaped products. That's running until the end of May. And tomorrow, the announcement is coming. I think it is. It's coming tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that. Everyone who's helped us out today, thank you very, very much indeed. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you all again soon.